Hi everyone, this is Sam from Zoho. We are here today with Zoho's very own Chief Evangelist, Raju Vijesna, here to talk about some very big news that we have announced. Raju, let's talk about it. Today, we have announced our very own LLM, Zia LLM. So let's start here. How exactly did we get to this point? What was the reason to build our own LLM?
Well, a couple of years back, we started that initiative and we kept on going. And we wanted to build it from scratch all the way. And as we started doing it, there were some open source LLMs came along the way. Certainly, there are some innovative things done in the open source world. We learned from it, but we wanted to do it on our own with our own ideas added to it. So that's how we got to it. Right? If you're a tech company, and when the new piece of technology, that's exciting. So we get to work.
A lot of other companies are perfectly content to basically use the LLM of another company, whether it's Llama, DeepSeek, you name it. Why is it that Zoho did not feel comfortable just accepting what is out there? Why did you insist, or we insist, on doing more, learning more?
Yeah, I mean, it's important that as a tech company, you own the core piece of technology. As I often say, a cloud company not owning their cloud is like a car company not doing their engine. Now, if you are an AI company and if you don't own the models that your AI company and the products are built on, kind of defeats the purpose.
Yeah.
So you don't become a tech company in that sense, where you become a reseller of someone else's technology. We do not want to become a reseller of some other black box, in this case, some other's LLM that we do not control do not control. So how can we develop our own technology? And that was the essence. And this has always been the philosophy of Zoho, where develop the technology, and also it helps that technology excites us, and we are in it in the long run. So we said, okay, we're going to develop this.
When building an LLM, you do have to decide, you have to make a lot of decisions, whether it's the architecture, the training data. What were the decisions made at the beginning of building the LLM as it was built, and what was the strategy behind making those decisions?
Sure. Most LLMs today in the market focus on the consumer market, or pretty much they want to do everything, right? And these are B2C LLMs, and because of the scale and the size, they are pretty large. But the one conscious decision we made was, do we really want to compete with them, or do we want to focus on our own specialty? So we chose the latter, where we wanted to focus on an LLM, doing an LLM that helped our customers, and our customers are businesses. So instead of a B2C LLM, we did a B2B LLM. That was one key decision. The second key decision is, how do we train the LLM? Can we train it on customer data? Absolutely not. That's off the limits for us, because we need our customers' permission to do it, and we take privacy very seriously. So we had to be picky on what we train the LLM on, and how we train it, where we train it, and the context plays a key role. That's the second decision. The third decision is, what kind of resources do we need to build up an LLM? What size LLM makes sense for us? This is where our own understanding and our own usage of our customers, that helped in shaping it. We do not, while there is value for a big, large LLM, and you can throw a large LLM to every problem, well, sure, that gives you better results, but is that the most efficient way of doing it? That's why we always believe in right-sizing the model. So we pick the right model for the right context, and it could be a series of models chained together, and one of them can be an LLM. In fact, there can be multiple LLMs of different sizes based on the context. We said, why don't we build a series of LLMs? And now we are launching 3 LLMs, 1.3, 2.6, and 7 billion models. Now you have 3 models that can be plugged into the right context alongside some of the other models to solve the customer problem. So because we believe in right sizing model, that was the decision where what are the sizes we want to focus on, because most LLM providers do a large models out there, but in our case, for our context, what is the size we want to focus on, and that's what we did. So it's a series of decisions, but all typically fall in line with our ethos as a company.
You mentioned 3 priorities in building the LLM, but where does customer value, something that I know is very important to Zoho, come into play here?
And that certainly plays a key role. As I often say, when ingredients are expensive, the dish will be expensive. When an LLM or using an LLM is expensive, then obviously the product that is built on an LLM becomes expensive. If you use a larger model, which is resource intensive, that also means the feature that is built on that resource intensive LLM will be expensive. Now, we want to deliver as much value as possible. So for that particular scenario, what do we need to do to optimize the LLM so that we don't have, we continue to deliver value to our customers? And that plays a role, that decision making plays a role for us. So today, we see a lot of vendors shoving, AI down customers' throats and trying to raise the prices. We don't want to be that any other vendor out there. And AI drives value. We'll keep adding more value to it. Unless it's absolutely necessary, we'll not be, pricing for some of the stuff. We have done this for over a decade. We have included AI without having to charge extra prices for our customers. And value will continue to be a key priority. And that is a key item included among a series of decisions we made when it comes to creating our own LLM.
What you're describing around the right sizing of models is a fundamentally different approach than what we are seeing from other developers of LLMs. Why is this important to Zoho to approach this in a different way?
Yeah. See, larger model always performs better. There's no question about that. But when you look at it through a different lens, and particularly when you look at the expense part of it, larger model is always the most expensive part. So now, if you want to serve as many businesses as possible and make sure that every business, no matter where they are, how big their size is, should benefit from the latest technology, that those businesses may not be able to afford a large model. So to get that reach, then we may have to get creative. And so now if you take the large models and maybe distill them to a smaller one, or create some specialized dedicated smaller models and pick the right model, the right size for the right context, which we call as the right size in the model, then that enables us to deliver the value of AI to a broader set of companies across the world, no matter their size. And we serve close to 1 million customers globally. These are paying customers, and if you include our user base, it's very spread out, and the sizes are spread out as well. So when we want to go with that reach, we have to pick the right model and right size the model so that we get the reach as well. Most companies tend to focus on enterprises and all of that. Certainly we serve the enterprises very well, but we also serve small businesses as well, where AI should also be reachable to small businesses. We as a company say we take enterprise grade software available to small businesses at consumer price points. And to do that right, we have to right size the models here. Again, the ingredient has to be of the right mix to serve every single business out there.
How do you view the future of the Zia LLM, as this is new to us, new to the company, but a major priority going forward? So what do you see as the next major developments, and how do you see that building into the core philosophies of Zoho?
And this is the starting point. As we typically do in the company, we start small and let it grow. We're planting a seed now. We'll let it grow as a tree. And starting with three of the models, the next one will be a 32 billion model that we hope to launch sometime this year. And then we'll get to larger models after that. So it's going to be an evolution. But as we roll this out and gather feedback from the customers, we'll be refining it and we'll be fine-tuning it. That is an advantage of doing your own LLM, where we are not dependent on a third party refining it for us. We get to control our destiny, and we are excited about where this will take us. We have now a new ingredient into our mix. What other recipes are possible? And that's up to the imagination and customers driving us.
Obviously, this is a major launch, a major announcement, but what is next for Zoho after this?
Obviously, LLM is the engine, and what you build using that engine is the key. So we are also launching several agents. We are launching several toolkits where people can take advantage of the LLM and build their own agents and all of these. And how can, on what can be built using the tool set we offer, along with the LLMs we offer, to drive the end user productivity. It comes down to that. So we'll see a series of announcements along those lines. Now we have an engine. The engine will keep improving. It'll keep getting new capability, and that each new capability it gains, it will result in driving value to the customers through the productivity and various means. So we are excited about what's ahead, and this is the first of many steps. As it typically happens with Zoho, everything is going to be a marathon, but every marathon starts with step one.
Absolutely right. Raju, thank you so much for your time. This has been Sam from Zoho. Thank you, everybody.